Hey lovelies, welcome back to another episode of the Euro Cooking Canuck once again. Thanks so kindly for joining me. Guys, on today's segment of Memories of Malta, we're going to be doing something comforting, warming, very homey, and very rustic. Guys, around the world right now, many of us are in our homes, and we're in our homes for a good reason. The world is under a pandemic. Now, I hope that you and yours are keeping safe. These are things that you may have in your pantry or freezer, and I will give you substitutions along the way. Guys, what we're making today is Zalzett gnocchi soppa, and that is a sausage and gnocchi soup. And I will give you, like I said, some substitutions if you don't have all of the ingredients, but I'm sure you're going to have something in your freezer or pantry that you can make this with. So guys, without further ado, let's get in the kitchen and make this amazing, hearty Maltese sausage and gnocchi soup. Hey! Hey my friends, welcome to the kitchen countertop. As usual guys, all of the amounts and the ingredients I'm using will be below. However, I'm also going to give you some alternatives in these hard times, other choices that you might have in your pantry or freezer. What I have to start are beautiful Maltese sausage. Now, if you can't get your hands on Maltese sausage, use a mild Italian sausage or your favorite sausage, nothing that's flavored with honey or anything like that. But what you will add to your pot when you brown off the sausage, it's a must to have this taste come through, is ground coriander, or if you have the seeds you can grind them, and maybe a little bit of fennel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split open the casing just gently. Run your your knife along the skin like so, and you should be able to take the skin or the casing off of the sausage. Easy. And then you can discard that. And what we want is we don't want this to be mashed up too much, but don't fuss with it, guys. Just give it some random chopping. Don't worry if it's not like minced meat. It doesn't have to be. Just rough chops like that. So I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to continue with the rest, and I'll bring you back and show you what we do next. Hey guys, pro tip. If your hands start getting sticky and you can't get the film or the skin off, just wet your hands a little bit. Here's another tip. Just rip it with your hands. You don't need to chop. Save yourself some time, and it's therapeutic. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Not just now, guys, but anytime we cook in the kitchen, right? Alright, so that's all my Maltese sausage done. I'm going to give my hands a quick wash. And what I got here is one roughly diced onion. Don't be fancy, guys. If you don't have onion, green onion. If you don't have that, onion powder. I've also started to grate some garlic. Again, don't have garlic, garlic powder. Garlic granules, whatever you got in the fridge, guys, or in your cupboards. I like a lot of garlic. It's up to you. I have about five or six cloves here. But again, to your taste, guys. So there's all my garlic. I'm not going to waste any of it. Okay. All right. So we got our meat, onions, garlic. Let's head. Hey guys, welcome to the stove. In my big pot here, I have a mixture of vegetable oil and a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. The reason I've added the vegetable oil is because it has a higher smoking point. If you don't have olive oil, guys, just use regular veg oil. All right, so to my pan, let's go ahead and add our salzette, our sausage. The Maltese word is salzette. It's already sizzling, which is nice. And if you break this up while cooking, it don't matter, guys. This is a rustic soup. We're going to cook our sausage until it's no longer pink. It should happen pretty quickly. You don't have to cook this all the way through either. It's already starting to turn color. In certain spots, we're getting a bit of color already. Brown there. And I'll bring you back when all the pink is pretty much cooked out of the sausages. Alright guys, all of our sausage have lost their pink color. Now if your sausage is quite fatty, you might want to remove some of the fat. You're going to want to leave a little bit for your onions and garlic. So I'm just going to use a paper towel on with some tongs, and I'm going to remove that fat. Right. Now what we want to do is go ahead and add our onions and garlic. Oh, the sausage smells so good. Use my hand here. Guys, Maltese sausage is very unique in the sense that the spices and how it's cured, you can actually eat Maltese sausage raw. It has a beautiful flavor. Some people just don't like the texture, but it has a gorgeous flavor. And sometimes you'll find it even in a Maltese salad, which I have a recipe for on my channel. I can link it below. So I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. I might remove a little bit more fat in the pot. And we're going to let these go for another 2 to 3 minutes until the onions and garlic are soft. Alright guys, while our onions and garlic are softening, the other star of the show, gnocchi. They are shelf stable. They'll be found in your dry pasta aisle. They're not refrigerated. And they come in these vacuum sealed packs. Alright? And you just simply slice it open. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want them to dry out. The other star of the show. Can you guess? This is kale, guys. And I read online the best way to keep kale up to a week is to wrap it tightly in paper towel and stick it in Ziploc bags. So, that's what I've done. I'll see if they're making a liar out of me. Well, it looks pretty darn good, I must say. It looks quite good, actually. So, there's a nice tip for everybody. Now, there might be a few little yellow spots I can cut out, that's fine. Now you can use curly kale, you can use dinosaur kale, or sometimes known as Sicilian kale. Doesn't matter. If you don't have kale, use spinach. If you don't have fresh spinach, use frozen spinach. If you don't have frozen spinach, guys, green peas, frozen peas, dare I say it, even if you have tinned peas, okay? Make sure there's some kind of green. Broccoli, sure, why not? But try and use kale, if not kale, spinach. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna simply show you how I prepare my kale. It's really easy. I just do that. I just rip the leaves off the stalk. So I'm going to continue doing this, cleaning my kale, and I'm going to wash it in a colander, and I'll chop it up, and when that happens, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, I've washed my kale, and guys, you don't have to dry it out. Why? It's going in a soup. We're not making kale chips. So that's an easy saver. You're just going to roughly chop your kale into kind of bite-sized pieces. Kale is not particularly like spinach. It doesn't really wilt so much in soups. So you get your money's worth anyways. Now I'm going to continue chopping this. I'm going to need about 6 or so packed cups. The rest, if I have any left over, can be for salads, or I can throw into other dishes. So just chop up your kale, and I'll meet you back at the stove. Alright guys, here is my kale all chopped up. It's approximately 6 packed cups, but don't be fussy with it guys. Add as much or as little as you like. I wasn't too busy or too worried about packing. This looked good to me. With the rest of my kale, I placed in a Ziploc bag and pushed out as much air as I could. I'm going to put this in the freezer, and that will be another meal, another soup, casserole, with pasta, whatever. Alright guys, let's head back to the stove. Alright guys, while I was dealing with the kale, I turned my pot very, very low. I've turned it back up now. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add some seasoning. Not too much salt, because we can add salt later. Ground pepper. The great thing about this soup, guys, there's not many things in it, but it still smells and tastes incredible. The garlic, the sausage, just the salt and pepper, the kale. Kale has a lovely taste and smell. I don't know, I kind of liken it to green bananas in a way. Alright, speaking of which, in goes my kale. They say to massage the kale, it helps break down the fibers. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I did do it while I was washing them. Why not? Nothing better to do. Wash your kale, massage it. Alright. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a saute first. And kale can stand up to more cooking time as opposed to things like spinach. So if you're going to use spinach, guys, I would add the spinach at the same time you add your gnocchi. And as you can see, it's already starting to reduce a bit. It's going down with the heat. Just a couple of minutes. Saute, get them all coated, and they're starting to wilt down, which is wonderful. Now you can spend more time on this if you like, but like I said, Kale is forgiving. It can stand up. It's a stronger vegetable. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some chicken broth, which I have cooking in the back. And guys, I just used chicken bouillon cubes because I didn't have any homemade chicken broth. If you don't have that, use water. All right, so there's about 10 cups there. I might add a couple more because you want your chicken broth or your broth to be a few inches above your soup because you're going to be adding gnocchi. So I'm going to add a bit more chicken broth. I'll boil up a couple more cubes with some water and then I'll bring you back. All right, guys. I've added some more chicken broth. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. Once it reaches a boil, I'll bring you back and we're just going to go ahead and add our gnocchi and just let it simmer until the gnocchi floats. All right, so we'll be right back. Hey guys, so my soup came to the boil. So what I did, as I said, I added my gnocchi. So I've turned the heat down now. I'm going to simmer this. And when the gnocchi start to float, which they're starting to now, I will bring you back for the final flourish. Hey guys, as you can see, our gnocchi are starting to float. This is the time to taste your soup, which I did. It is so flavorful, guys. It's hard to imagine how such little ingredients have so much flavor. The sausage, the onions and garlic really come through. The kale is so flavorful. The chicken stock really adds to it. And of course, salt and pepper. So basically our soup is ready. However, I have here some heavy cream. If you don't have heavy cream, single cream. No single cream, half and half. Milk. Add this to your soup. We're just going to heat this through. I let my cream sit out at room temperature for, about 15 minutes. But you're going to let this sit at room temperature so it's not cold when you add it. We're going to heat this through. Look at how gorgeous. Look how beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to dig in, guys. Hey guys, our soup is all ready. It's been simmering away. I want to pour myself up a little bit. Still quite hot. Oh. I want sausage and kale and gnocchi. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. Get some more gnocchi. And some broth. Oh. All right, guys. This has made my house smell incredible. I can't wait any longer. I want to taste the broth first. Oh, guys, you just melt. I'm going to try one of the gnocchi. Tender, but a nice bite. Sausage. A bit of kale. It's hot, guys. Guys, this is comfort food, totally. And Again, the Maltese sausage, if you don't have it, please add some ground coriander when you season your sausage with salt and pepper. You'll have that authentic taste. The kale is soft, has a bit of a bite, it's not slimy, it's just perfect. Guys, try it, you'll love it. I gave you some alternatives. These are hard times, and I hope you're all taking care of yourself and each other. Follow me on social media, like the video, share it. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Come on over, I'd love to have you. Guys, until we meet again, be good to yourself and to each other. Stay safe, stay healthy. Grazie hafna. Thank you very much. Ciao, ciao.